Okay, so we are pretty much done with these guys, so we can move everybody out of the way, except for Kimberly here, because we are finally, real quick, if I get her to stand up, we are taking a look at the Catherine version. So hello Power Rangers Lightning Collection fans, and welcome back to Toku Topics. Today, as I mentioned, I'm taking a look at the Catherine version of the Ninja Pink Ranger figure, Target exclusive of course. So this is an interesting one. So it's the same thing, so it's essentially the exact same figure as the Kimberly version, but of course Hasbro had a golden opportunity here and they absolutely took advantage of it. So of course in Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Season 3, the Pink Ranger powers are passed from Kimberly to Catherine, so there are two users of this Ninja Pink Ranger suit. Now Kimberly is the version you're going to want to get if you're trying to recreate the 1995 movie in the first half of Mighty Morphin Season 3. But of course, Catherine here is very well deserved to get her own, which pretty much just entails the new civilian head sculpts. So, you know, I mean, it's definitely a very, I would say, skippable figure in the Lightning Collection. I do appreciate that it exists, and I do appreciate the things that they've done with it, especially with the box here, to differentiate it from the original Kimberly version, but it virtually is going to be the same thing, and we are going to compare the two here, of course, in the video. So this is kind of like a bonus to the Ninja Rangers. The core team is complete, and this is just if you feel like you want it, or if you're trying to replicate like one specific version of Season 3 of the Ninjas, you can pick either Kimberly or Catherine here. So we'll go move Kimberly out of the way a little bit as we take a look at the unique box that we do have for Cat, which is really, really cool. I love that they had Tom Whalen do special, unique civilian head sculpt artwork for Cat here, because it just really helps it stand out. Now I don't have my Ninja Pink Ranger Kimberly version box here right now. It's back at home. The only ones that I have are red, yellow, and pink here because of this second wave. So as you can see, very, very similar figure. I'm virtually pretty confident that this is exactly the same thing. You have the effect piece, which is probably very similar, the hands and everything. Just the new things are the artwork, and that you don't even have a different name down there or anything like that. It still says Ninja Pink. And then right here, you have the Catherine artwork continuing on the side, which does look really good. I do think that it resembles Cat, which is really cool that he was able to capture that. And you have a little bit of her hair back there. Now my Cat box definitely got dented in by Target, because they sent this one in its own box, and then they sent Rocky and Aisha in a separate box. It was kind of odd. And then back here they do show the civilian head sculpt for Cat, since that's kind of the main draw of this figure, and then the effect piece is this kind of kicking one, which I do think is the same as Kimberly, but we'll check that out here in a minute. So let's go ahead and open this up and take a look at Cat. So here is Cat out of the box next to Kimberly. They are the same exact thing. Like literally, they are the exact same figure. So like, I've seen some people compare them or talk about them on Facebook and say that Cat was taller and that they actually did change the mold. No. So what was happening with that is that there is that drop down joint on the Ninja Ranger legs. So when you drop down those joints on Cat, kind of all the way, you do kind of have that taller effect to it compared to Kimberly, or vice versa, however you have it. But if you do bring those joints back down to kind of that neutral stance point, they are the same exact figure. Like literally, they are the same. So just showing the comparisons there. They are the same. Obviously, I don't have the regular Ninja head sculpt on there, which I can go ahead and pop that on real quick so you can see. So let's go ahead and put that wrapping back on, and the kind of full ninja look. So even the faces are, I believe, exactly the same. So it does look like they just reused the exact same figure. They didn't change eye color or anything like that, or bothered with anything else. They are exactly the same. The only way that I know which one is which is that my Cat's boot has a really terrible paint application there on that diamond. Like all of the white is just like completely not there on mine, and I don't care because I don't necessarily need two Ninja Ranger Pink Ranger figures in the first place. I bought them both because they were separate releases in the Lightning Collection, and that's it. 100% it. I'm never going to need to have two Pink Rangers displayed at the same time, so I can always just pick like the better body and display it as Kimberly or Cat, and just know that the original figure here was Kimberly's figure, and that this one is Catherine's, technically, even though it really doesn't particularly matter which one is which. So we'll go ahead and put her right there, which, kind of messed that up. I will say her joints feel a little looser, and in like a good way, to where like I feel like it's easier to kind of crack in these joints on my Catherine figure here, which I do quite appreciate. Oh yeah, yeah, that feels pretty good, like cracking in all those joints there. So that's pretty nice. And now one thing you could kind of do is like that ninja duplication technique that they do sometimes. You could kind of recreate that if you got, you know, both of these, which is kind of fun. But even the hands and even the accessories are the exact same. So they both come default out of the box with those fisted hands. And then, that boot on this one is very kind of weird like that. But they each have, which I mean, I've already done a video on this one, so there'll probably be a card popping up with Kimberly's video, but you do get that kind of grabby hand for her left hand or her right hand, and then that karate chop for her left. So there is that. Then of course you get the civilian head, which we'll take a look at in a minute. And then the effect pieces here are even the exact same. They are the same kicking one, which basically you just kind of take the boot, and it doesn't necessarily matter which one you give it to, I believe, because you kind of just, it is a little tricky to kind of maneuver though, but it's supposed to kind of be like, they show it on the back of her box, this kind of like kicking up pose with the boot wedged into it, but it doesn't like to work the best. So you kind of have something like that, so you can kind of have her swoosh kicking. So you know, I can appreciate the effort here. They definitely did try with that. So that is Cat, and I do want to make sure I kind of keep these accessories associated with the particular version. So we'll go ahead and slide all that off to the side, because we're of course going to do Cat's head sculpt swaps. So you can pop that off, slot that over there so I don't lose it, and then take the kind of half-mast look that I know I really like a lot. And I do have Kimberly's over here, so we can compare. If I take this off, we can compare the heads, because those are obviously different. That's the main draw of this. So there is Cat and Kimberly, so they do make an actual effort of changing the face sculpt and the hair and everything, which I really do appreciate, because I mean, I do think that these look like the respective actors, and they do a pretty good job kind of capturing their likenesses there. I really do like how that turned out. And you know, it's valid. It does make sense to have a Cat version of this figure. I know a lot of people are going to want to have this version of the Ninja Pink Ranger instead of Kimberly, so I definitely respect Hasbro's decision to include, or to release this again like this. And then, if I can get it on there, we have the full unmasked version of Cat, which I think does look like her. I definitely do see that. So not too bad. So I really do like how this figure turned out. So we can kind of get her in sort of a punching kind of pose there. And kind of scooch everything off to the side, and we'll bring in that turntable again, so I can do a nice rotation so you guys can kind of see as it goes. So we'll go ahead and pan up there. But there is the Target exclusive Ninja Ranger Pink Ranger Cat version. So before I wrap it up here though, I do want to show off some comparisons of some pretty cool group shots I want to do of all of the Ninja Rangers now that we have them all. So I'm going to let her kind of spin around here for a second, and let's take a look at some pretty cool group shots that we can now do with either version of this full team. But I figured since this was kind of a special extra video in this series of reviews for the Ninja Rangers, we do some fun displays. So first up we have this shot here from Ninja Quest Part 3 from Mighty Morphin Season 3. So we have the Retro Morph Ninjor from Walmart, which is not a Lightning Collection figure, but it does pretty much scale perfectly with Lightning Collection. And then we have these 6 Ninja Ranger figures from Target all around him here. So I've done my best to recreate this. I'm not good at posing action figures, which is kind of funny for how many figures that I buy and how much I love a specific action figure toy line. I'm not good at it, but I think I did a pretty good job with this. Basically, the Rangers just stand in a circle kind of holding hands, and since the Rangers don't come with holding hands, they come with just like, everybody has a full set of punching hands, and then like all those special effect hands. This is kind of the closest that they all look uniform and matching. Ninja is probably not perfectly centered in the like middle of this circle there, but I really like this a lot. Of course, we have Kimberly there. Here is the Catherine figure off to the side, the actual focus of this video. But I really do like how this looks. I almost kind of want to display it like this, but of course you're going to want to like have these Rangers in action. And speaking of in action, so I've made this as well. So of course, if you have all of the Ninja Rangers from Target and you have some Tango Warriors from Wave 9, you can do a pretty cool looking battle. This isn't sort of any kind of actual recreation of any kind of battle from Mighty Morphin or anything like that. I just kind of posed the figures and kind of tried to implement the effect pieces and some stands. These are some Tamashii figure stands and stuff like that. And kind of the different wings of the Tengas and everything. So I don't do this often. I don't usually have the kind of space to do this. I don't think it looks the absolute greatest. I mean, I could have done better things with this, but I really like this a lot. I like Adam kicking this Tenga in the face there, and Billy's balancing on the wing of that Tenga, which I think looks really, really cool. So I love how these work here and how they look. And this is what's really cool about kind of army building and getting whole teams and lightning collection and everything, is like, this looks pretty sweet. This definitely looks like a scene out of Power Rangers or something. It just needs like a quarry background and it would be perfect. So thank you all for watching this review of the Ninja Ranger cat version Pink Ranger figure. So there will be a link to her in the description below from Hasbro Pulse and Target. And then of course, real quick before we wrap up here, I did forget to kind of show you a kind of picture comparison with the actress. So there is Kat's head sculpt with the actress there. So there, she can fully complete the Ninja Ranger team, even though there would never be two cats on screen unless they're doing that kind of ninja duplication thing there. So until next time, you guys can follow me on Twitter at LivingRangerKey or at LightningFigPR, and I'll see you all later.